Hello Gurus, welcome back. It's me again. Today we are going to explore the fifth part of C Sharp for Pentesters, and we are going to do something different, a bit more coding, as it's going to be Regasm or Regasm, I don't know, Regsvr32. We are going to use both of these EXEs to bypass Defender. Uh, I hope you know why we normally use these EXEs. If you don't know, these are Microsoft certified or signed binaries. So we can make use of these signed binaries to execute our arbitrary code in DLLs. So basically, I will show you what exactly these EXEs are doing. Microsoft has well-defined documentation for these uh, EXEs. So for the first one, I think the Regasm is an assembly registration tool that reads the metadata within assembly and adds necessary entries to the registry. It allows us, both these are used with the COM components. And if you don't know what exactly COM is, again they have defined everything COM and COM plus component services. It's it's seconds. Yeah, it's a definition from Microsoft here. It's another architecture developed by Microsoft, primarily for Windows. It's foundation of oily and ActiveX controls. So this is uh, a kind of architecture that Microsoft has used to. I don't know how to explain that. If you ask me, we can develop components and that can be reused. So you don't need to do it again and again. So that's a kind of architecture or developed by Microsoft and they used in the past. I think now is not so common, but even if you have or complex components, you can code it using C Sharp and you can add your own codes. Uh, when we are using these Regasm and Regasvr32 binaries, we can register our COM components into the registry. So the best part in this one is if you come here, there is another um, documentation that explains what exactly this one is doing. Here I have taken this piece of code as a skeleton code because I don't want to do it from the scratch. They have a well-defined example here. What exactly this one is doing. Here, if you have noticed from the compared to the previous classes that we have done, here it has an attribute. This attribute is actually help us to or enables us to add our own arbitrary registration code that will get executed when we register this COM component that we are going to develop. So that's the basic stuff. Here is the important part. You should have this COM registration function attribute on top of your function, and it should be static. And you can call the function using you are actually is not you are not calling the function. This function will get automatically called when you are going to register the DLL that we are going to develop. And this function is unregister function attribute that will help us to execute our arbitrary code when it's going to unregister. We will try both. So what I have done here in the source code is I created a new class and I'm using these function attributes, ComRegister function and unregister function, and inside that we are calling our exec method. And here again we are using another trick that we used on the previous video. Hope you remember that we did use PowerShell without using PowerShell.exe. So the same technique we are going to use here. I have decoded the I'm decoding inside this application. So I mean this is a fully functional PowerShell script that uh, we have already encoded here, and we are decoding on the at the time of running, and we are using run space run space factory to execute or call the PowerShell script to run without calling the PowerShell.exe. I already explained how this works on in my previous video, so if you did miss out that, please have a look into that and you will get more clarity on that. Here the important part is these two functions, register function and unregister function. Since we are adding these attributes on the top of this function is going to get executed at the time of registering and unregistering the DLLs. And this actually this class we are going to inherit from the service component class that is defined inside this enterprises DLL, and this will help us to do what to say the thing I have taken it from here. If it's not, I have document here. Yeah, I'll show you what exactly the service component class is doing. Uh, this is doing. See, basically, this represents class for all the Con plus services. So the same stuff. I'm not taking these stuffs here because it doesn't need here. We can just do it without defining all these stuffs here. You just need only a single sign in stuff. The next important thing here is deploy this class as a configured com component. You must generate a strong key. Then it comes what is strong key. Strong key is nothing but it's a kind of we are going to is a kind of signing. We are going to make a public private key pair, so that will be used to sign this. Then we will be executing. We'll be calling uh, this when we are going to build this application as a DLL. We are going to make use of that sign key to sign this. That's the process of before we are going to make any complex component. We have to sign this using the strong name key pair. Don't get confused on all these parts. Just go and visit Microsoft documentation. They clearly mentions what exactly it is and what exactly the strong name is. And here, here this in this link, it explains how exactly we can create a strong what exactly a strong name consists of. It's basically an assembly's identity. It contains text name, version, and culture information is provided, plus a public key and a digital signature. So it's generated from an assembly file using corresponding private key. So here we are not going to make any complex stuffs. We are just using the signing strong name tool to create a key pair. And it will be I mean we are just going to make a file called snk. That's a strong name key file, and that we include that to build our DLL that will help us to register this as a complex component. So this is the code. This code you are already familiar with. I will show you the source code of this one. And here this was a function I just mentioned our IP, the CNC server IP, and the port number that we are going to get connected. So here I'm going to run this in my server. This port should be enabled on my open listening on my server. So what I did here was I just took this one. This is the same code that we used previous time. So I think it's running. Let me check. It's running. Yeah, it's running. I'm going to use this same AV Buster tool to encode it. See, yeah, I use this encoded stuff inside uh, this here, this string. So while this is going to run, what happens is, even if you're going to register, this function will get called and this arbitrary code will get executed. So inside this function, we are saying to create run spaces and run this script. So what Excel is going to do is going to call system dot uh, automation.dll functions to create all these run spaces and execute this PowerShell without calling the PowerShell.exe. So this is the code is going to run. It's very simple code. It's very easy to create. The only difference is here we are going to make a DLL instead of an actual binary exe file. So now it's the time to build our stars. First we have to make this SN that SNK file key file that help us to sign this complex component. So it's very simple. The path of normal path of the sn.key file is here. Here in my system, I had it into my path, so I can call it from here sn and make it key sn or key dot snk. So a complete keeper is returned to this file. So this file is going to be used in our when we're creating the DLL here. In normal cases, you just need to wait. I hope one more thing, you should be familiar with how to build your application using the C# compiler. If not, it's just do a basic Google search. It's very easy. Till now, hope you remember we were building our exe from directly from the build. Here, I'm not doing this because it's pretty straightforward. If you do it from the command line, it's more understandable than if I show you from the build. So even for this command, what I'm going to do is I have to refer these two DLLs. One is the system enterprise.dll and the other one is the system management automation.dll. So before running this one, the first one I have already both I have already referred here, but for the second one, it should be in your path, or you have to refer your path. Like I'll show you. See, I have copied the system.automation management automation DLL here because I'm referring it here. For the other one, you don't need to copy to your path because it's already it's a kind of standard DLL that is there. You don't need to specify any specific path for that. It will take automatically. So the difference here, I'm saying we are making a library. Library means a DLL file. So the output file, we can say what should be the name of the file. And here we are specifying which key file we are going to make use of. I mean, which private public key pair here we are make use to create this DLL, so that we can make it to register com plus functions. So let me show you the demo. Maybe if I'm going to say so much of theories in this one, you may get confused. Just follow this and do some other Google search and just try to understand what exactly it is, how the com plus components works, how the registration happens and what happens after you registering, and what exactly is ComRegister function attribute and other stuffs. And yeah, I think somebody asked me on my last video regarding some C# for AV bypass techniques for beginners. I don't know what exactly he was expecting, but I can say there are a lot of free resources available for C# learning. So it's always better if you and always recommend to you to learn C# first from any other resources and come here, it will be easy for you. Just learn the steps. Like basically when you are learning, try to learn the command line options for C# application building for DLLs and EXEs, so it will be easy for you just to understand what exactly we are doing here. Even if you don't follow, even if you got confused on this demo, just keep in mind that we are going to use signed binaries from Microsoft to execute our arbitrary code. Instead of the normal EXEs, here we are going to make DLLs. That DLLs we are going to register as COM component. And inside the COM component, we have defined our own arbitrary code to get executed while registering and unregistering. That's a short thing that we are doing here. If you got confused on any other stuff, please pause the video and do a basic Google search and just try to understand what exactly we are doing in this video. And I hope you can see the code that we are running here. So let me take this and the /r is short name for referencing. Normally what happens when you're doing some references directly in a project, we do add references here, either here, right clicking the project, or there's a references section here. You can add reference directly here. Either of this will work for it will affect in the project. So we are when you are going to do that using command line, you have to use the /r keyword. So I'm going to copy this here, and as I said, here I'm not actually the csc.exe is under the framework tools path, so it's not tools path. I think under the framework 4 or somewhere it is there. I had added that to my path already, so that's the reason I called the sn the previous command we executed was that sn using the sn I mean strong name exe. Even that I already added to my key path. If you didn't add that to your key path, you have to go to this path and call the sign sn.exe and create the file. And once if you create the file here, it will be in this folder, so you should be moving that to the folder where you are referring the you're building the DLL. Otherwise, again, you may have to specify the path here for that SNG file where it's residing. It's always advisable to keep everything inside the same path, so there won't be any path issues. Normally, spaces and special characters or some issues will be there if it's a different path. So always keep everything on the same path. It's easy to refer. So we are going to build it now. Yes, CSC. I'm using CSC. So there is no error. Here we are referring to two different DLLs to build this DLL shared library. Enterprise DLL and automation. Automation.dll is for this run space factory usage, and the other one is for if you have some other code. What you can try is after trying this one, you can try to do the P injection that we have already covered, either by encrypting the shell code or by directly testing using this one. You can insert this XF function. You can directly use the P injection technique. Either way, you can try something yourself. So here, so this got executed, and if everything went successfully, this will create a register.dll file. Yeah, this is a file. So this is a file that we are going to test on the target. So I'm going to copy this, copy register.dll to my shared drive. There's a file copied here. I'm going to run my is on listening mode. So let me go to my, yeah, here my real-time protection is on, and I'm going to copy. Let me do that on the desktop, so it will be easy for me to delete that. So here I'm going to copy that, copy the shared drive is a drive for me. Register.dll to my desktop. Here it's copied. Uh, Copied here. So yeah, the next thing is you have to here we are going to use to execute the ComRegister and Unregister functions using the Regasm or Regsvr32 signed binaries from Microsoft. So the path of that one is here. I think I have mentioned it somewhere. Yeah, it's under Microsoft Framework 4. Windows Framework 4. Let me go to the path. cd Windows. What is the path? Version 4. Yeah, here first we are going to test using Regasm.exe. So the Regasm.exe, we are going to call our DLL. I mean, if you check the code we did, where was that? We have a reversal code on both register and unregister. So we will test both, either or not. Both should be working. So C drive, so C drive, users. So while this is going to be run, we should get our um, reversal here. And let me ensure that this is real-time production is on. Something is here. See here we got the shell from there. The current path where is we just use that Regasm. So just to ensure we have that machine. It's 74. Just say who am I? Yeah, see, this is a machine, and this just got hacked and real-time production is on till now. So the next thing we can try is, let me break this. So it should be, yeah, came back to the normal. Let me run it again. So let us try the unregistering stuff. I think it is here. Yeah, Regasm has yeah, it is /u, not slash, yeah, /u or /unregister. So now, just now we executed the code inside this one. This part, just because this function has, this function has the ComRegister attribute. it this go when we executed the Regasm registration using the DLL that we built, this part got executed. So now we are going to call the unregister function. Since we have defined this one, this is going to get executed. That's my hope. Let us try that. Our listener is here. Where is that? We are going to. This is /u, right? I think /u. We are going to unregister this DLL. So what's going to happen? Again, this one. See, again we got our reversal. Still that protection is on. Just checking and confirming. Who am I? See, it's animator. Like this, basically this Windows machine. So that's it for this video. You can try the same. This will work with the same Regasvr32.exe. I'm not going to make that video separately. You can try this. Same code, same kind of technique, same way. These two will work hand in hand. And the difference between these two binaries are this one is a Regasm that currently we use. It's an assembly registration tool. And here this one is also the same DLL as command components in registry. These are basically doing the same function but in a different way. This one is exclusively for assembly registration one. This one also registers the same thing. Since we have used it COM plus components, we can make use of these two. This works the same way as the Regasm works. So I'm just leaving that to you. Just use the same set of code. Do this stuff. You don't need to buy hard anything here. Basically, if you do search on Microsoft, they will give you the exact skeleton code for this one. I think it is here. Yeah, it is here. So just search for this ComRegister function attribute class. You will get the skeleton and add your references. Add this one. Like you have to inherit your class from service component by adding references to this enterprise services. Then execute your code. This is important. This is important. And do whatever you want to do on this. And the ultimate thing is you should know how to build your DLL using the command csc. First you create a strong name key pair, then use that key pair to sign your DLL. So that's it. Use a strong name key pair, create a strong name key pair file and use csc.exe to build it. Build your DLL, then just call the Regasm on the victim machine. How to get initial access to that? It's up to you. You have to use different techniques to get that into a machine. There are some limitation on this one. The primary one is you normally it get executed on administrator prompt. So it's up to you how to you have to use multiple techniques to get the initial way of getting into that machine and tricking the user. So that's all for this video. Once again, thanks for all those who subscribe my channel, and if not, if you didn't do that till now, and if you like this and if you like to be a continued part of this entire journey, please do subscribe and support, share with others who are interested in programming and security. We will be coming with more on C# and other stuffs, mostly on programming stuffs. Maybe some of the guys asked me to do something for the beginners. I will plan that. I will plan that soon. I have to come up with something. Basically, I hate to show the tools usages, but for the basic stuff, it will be easy. Like it should be. It should be using some tools for in the basic beginning level. So I'll do that as soon as possible. First, I'm giving preference to finish off the C# for pen testers and some other scripting and coding stuff for pen testing stuff, especially Nim, Golang, and PowerShell. So in parallel, I will do work on that too. I had to work on my AV Buster too for that. Yeah, that's all for this video. We'll be meeting with another video soon. Till then, yeah, this is a path for the automation management DLL. So just copy it and give it in your current path where you are building your Regasm pointing DLLs. That's all for this one. Subscribe and stay tuned. We'll be meeting soon with another video like this. Might be some other app locker bypassing or something else. Till then, it's a bye from Alphas.